Hello, hello. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. I'm Julie Davison, and this is my mom, Susan LaCroix.
Hey, everybody.
We are mother-daughter demonstrators who've been demonstrators for almost 20 years with Stampin' Up. And this is our weekly video series. So if you're a first-time watcher, make sure that you subscribe to one of our channels so that you don't miss out on our future videos. Each week we highlight a new product and you can tune in live to watch at 12 noon Central Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And that covers both our areas. I'm in Illinois and Mom's in Michigan. So because we live so far away, we get to do this on Zoom every week. So Mom, I know we just chatted for a little while, but how are you doing this week?
I'm okay. I'm just very cold. I mean, it is really, really cold. The wind chill this morning was -3.
Oh,
So yeah, it's pretty cold. So when it's cold like this, we just kind of tend to hunker down and make those comfort foods. Like, the other day I made a pot of beef soup. I bought some stewing meat to make a pot of beef stew. So yeah, that's when we, spaghetti, all those comforty kind of foods, and dress warm in layers. It's although I was telling you earlier that here it is, so cold, wind chills below zero. We were driving down the street into our driveway, and some young man was wearing shorts, a long sleeve shirt, and Crocs, no socks.
I think it's funny. I know some people who wear shorts all winter long, and I don't know, they just, I guess, run warm. Elise does not wear shorts in the winter, but she does like run warm, and she's, always going out without a jacket on. And I'm just like, how are you not cold? And she's just like, I don't know, I'm fine, I'm not. And it's always like that. It's not something new. There is this weird thing with middle schoolers not wanting to wear coats, and I feel like there's a little bit of that going on, but she just always has run a little bit warm and not needing layers when the rest of us are bundling up.
Adult. Oh, well, how about your weather? Are you experiencing really cold temperatures?
It keeps going back and forth. It's like cold, and then like it's 30 degrees warmer, and then it's cold. Like it's been inconsistent. And I feel like we've had these fronts coming through. We had like a tiny dusting of snow last night, nothing major. And the girls were outside playing a little bit today. So it wasn't not in the snow, just playing in general with the neighbors outside. But it isn't enough to build a snowman by any stretch. And I don't even think we needed to like shovel or anything. So it wasn't that cold because they did go out and bundle up and play for a little while. So it's sunny. That's my thing in the winter time. Like, as long as we have some sunshine, I can get through the cold. It's when it's like gray and gloomy and not sunny that.
Well, what's the name of that? There's a name for it. Oh, crud. I forgot the name.
I know what you're talking about, but
something affective disorder, something with the sun and whatever it is. Yeah. I love it when the sun is shining. The only problem is then there's no clouds to keep the warmth in, the temperatures drop. So sunny and cold, or a little bit warmer and cloudy and gray. So I don't know. Take your pick.
That's true. I would prefer sunny and cold because I can bundle up, but I like that sunshine. I need that. I need that light. Speaking of sunshine, I'm really excited about the products that we're using today. And even though it's cold outside, the stuff we're featuring today really has me thinking spring. So you want to show us what we're working with?
Yes, I am going to show you. All right. So as you hopefully know, we're in the, almost halfway through Sale-a-Bration for January and February. And for those who don't know what Sale-a-Bration is, when you purchase $50 in product, you get a free gift offering from Stampin' Up. So we've been doing this twice a year. We did it last August and September, and I think we're scheduled to do it in July and August in 2022. But we come out with these little brochures that offer free selections, and hostesses get extra stuff. And if you join, you get extra stuff. And so there's some really pretty things. So most of these are, if you spend $50, there are a couple of needing to spend $100. So I'm going to kind of flip to that. So this is what we're going to showcase today. And this is called the Friendly Hello Stamp Set and Designer Series paper. All right, let me show you the stamp set, which is this one. I really love the stamp set too. It's got this great big bold hello friend. I just love that. Then there's, you know, hope you have the best birthday. You have my love and support. I love the bird on the branch with some flowers, some bigger flowers, some leaves, some ferns, just a lot going on with this stamp set. And then the designer series paper. Now it's 12 by 12 paper, and I just cut it down to 6 by 6 so I can show you. But this is, I mean, the colors are just, as Julie said, reminds me of spring. So this is one paper, and the other side is granny apple green with the white ferns. And then there's this guy, which is kind of some pastels on a white background, mostly line art with a few solid leaves in there and all kinds of different colors. In addition to granny apple green, there is pool party, and gosh, I forgot what this one is.
Petal pink.
Petal pink. There you go. And it looks like some, is that Misty Moonlight?
Evening evergreen.
Oh, this is evening. You know, it has it. My lighting is weird. It looks like it's almost peacocky kind of a thing. And then we've got some Highland Heather going on here. So lots of pretty colors. I love this. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? Ooh.
That's the one I'm using.
This is the one I'm using, which is granny apple green with some white flowers on it. And the B side of that is stripes, which I love these stripes. You're going to see a card that I made using this paper. And here's the petal pink again with some of the little almost berries. And then the back side of that is this one, or maybe this is the B side and this is the A side. The Highland Heather with some white and then some black flowers on here, which is very, very striking. This is the B side. So let me flip this over. Kind of the same thing with the petal pink. And this guy is almost the same as this. This just has all white flowers and this has some black and white and then some dots or open dots, it looks like. So that's the designer series paper. And I'm going to show you some samples. I mentioned that
I just want to point out, because I get this question a lot. The stamp set and designer paper only comes bundled together. So unfortunately, you can't get just the designer paper like as a refill. It's only available as a combination, unfortunately.
Okay, so this is I did this for a swap. So this, I made a belly band on this one with that beautiful hello friend and one of the little flowers with the gem on it. And this just opens up. Bam.
So fun.
It is. So some little areas to write a quick note and sign your name to it. But that is this card. This was fun to make, because they do come together pretty easily. So that was my contribution to the swap. If I can get this belly band back on. Come on, come on. There we go.
I love that little flower. And I think most of the swap cards we have like either feature the big flowers or the bird, but I love just featuring and focusing on that little one. It's just so cute.
Oh, thank you. All right, so here's one. And this was a swap done by Mary McCormick. And she used a textured background on this pool party and then a strip of the pool party paper. And she left the bird not colored, but just focus again, Julie, on those two little flowers.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Did she do the inside? She did, up in the corners. That little flower again. So this one is by Mary Ellen Stites, one of our team members. I forgot to pull this out. So she used that border. I love that fun border die. And she used the bird and colored it in and just did a tone on tone with the hello friend and the flowers. And then a piece of this paper along the edge. And hope you have the best birthday with, again, that little flower.
I love the combination of the colors inside with the greeting and the flower. Like that's really pretty. Just a little something else up there.
Yeah, this is by one of my team members and one of yours, Michelle Grimble. So she used a great big label with the hello friend, and then she also stamped the inside with some flowers. So pretty. I like the black and the Highland Heather together.
I think it's fresh freesia.
Oh, you're right. It's fresh freesia. Thank you very much. So this is, I love this book by, I guess that's what it's called, the book binding.
Yes.
Fold. And this one was by Betsy Kreider. And you know, when I've been making these, I've been doing an extra score line on both sides, and I really don't have to.
Yeah, I did it first too. And then someone was like, what's the other score line for? And I was like, nothing, I guess. you don't need it.
Yeah, really. And I like what Betsy did. So she used a strip of this paper that's just freesia, with white kind of spatter on it. And then she stamped the flowers, the big flowers. And she stamped an extra one and cut them out and kind of popped it up a little bit with some of the leaves behind it. And then some of that striped paper that I like so much on the back. So that's really pretty.
I love the extra pattern on the stamped flowers. I think that's so pretty.
Yeah, that is very pretty. So those are the swap samples I have using this set. And I think we're going to turn the camera back over to you, Julie, so you can show us what you have and what your project is today.
Yeah, I was like just getting ready to start stamping, and then I realized I have to change the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, well, really quickly, while you were showing that card, I was like, I want to add that little flower. I have this prepared for the inside of my card, and so I'm just gonna add a little flower. Oh, it's really light. I don't even know if you can see it, but I just love that extra little. Okay, well, that's the inside of my card. Before we get to the inside, I've stamped the bird, and I started coloring already. I used some dark crumb cake and some light old olive for the lines on the leaves, just to add a little color, and then petal pink on the flowers. And so for the bird, I'm going to use the light and dark pool party. And I'm not a big fan of coloring, as you guys know if you've been watching for a while, but images like this bird I like because they're really easy. They're a little bit smaller, and I usually just do like light all over, and then I can go back with the dark and add some shading on the lines that Stampin' Up! Has already provided in the image, and keep it really simple and be done. So I know that's hard to see with the camera being so high, so I'll just kind of bring it up. So really simple and easy coloring on this one. So I kind of struggled, and I think I sent you a message, Mom. I was really having a hard time coming up with a card design. And I was starting with like a simple idea like this, but I wanted to dress it up a little bit more because I'm a clean and simple stamper. And so usually the cards I make are like this, but sometimes I try to think like, how can I like step it up or dress it up a little bit and incorporate some more things? And I know that's a lot of your style is, blinging it up and adding some extra things. And so I wanted to incorporate some other things. So here's the simple version of the card. I used a little 3x4" piece of designer paper, a strip of the Petal pink cardstock, and this is crumb cake for the card base. I think the lighting is a little bit weird, but it might just be my screen. So I'm using the same elements on the stepped up card, but I'm going to add some other elements like white baker's twine, the square vellum doilies, and of course the new polished dots to embellish the flowers. These are from the January through June catalog, and they come in both this sort of champagne light pink color and like a frosted white. So I'm just going to add 2 of them right there in the middle of the flowers. And then instead of doing the greeting on the card like I did here, I'm adding another layer, and I stamped the sentiment onto a piece of Pear Pizzazz. Now, the sentiment originally says, "You have my love and support," but I needed something a little bit smaller. So I inked up and only stamped the first part of that and left off the bottom part. but on the inside, I have the full stamp. So on the front, it'll say you have my love. And then on the inside, you have my love and support. Okay, so I've got some simple layering here. I want to add this vellum doily to peek out from behind the designer paper. And so those are going to kind of layer on the bottom. And then that white strip of cardstock, not white, petal pink. This is 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm going to add a little bit of texture by just tearing the edges. I thought about using an embossing folder, and that's a great way to add texture to your card. But if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of, tools, a simple tear like that is a great way to add some texture to your card without fancy tools. So I'm just starting to build up my card here. I've got my die cut label, and you can see already, like, it just is starting to look a little bit more dressed up with the torn edges and the vellum and the flowers. And then we'll have the sentiment over here. But one last touch, because I wanted to add some ribbon, I'm going to use that, the baker's twine. And the baker's twine comes now in a package with several neutral colors. I think it's called Basics or Essentials baker's twine. I think I've cut too much here. But I'm going to wrap it around and then tie a bow. The tearing kind of like gives it a place to hold the ribbon a little bit. So I would love to know at home, like, what is your style? Do you prefer clean and simple cards, or do you like to step it up and dress up your cards with extra layers and embellishments? I know you like to dress yours up, Mom, right?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. I was muted.
You're on mute.
Yep. And it is called the Essentials Baker's Twine, by the way.
Oh, thank you for looking that up.
Yeah.
I honestly still have this like stash of white twine. So I never pull it from my actual twine pack. I'm still using up my stash. White baker's twine is like one of my favorite ways to embellish a project. Okay, now I just have to do some gluing down. I'm using my Stampin' Seal and the Stampin' Dimensionals. So we're just going to take everything off, start on the inside, and then layer everything up and build the card.
The one thing I'm having fun with this designer series paper and stamp set is that there are so many different looks you can get with just using that one stamp set in one pack of paper.
Yeah.
And I know that's true for a lot of the things that we offer, but boy, it really kind of hits home with this one, because my card is so different than yours.
Yes. I was thinking about that. Well, sometimes we know what the other one is making. Yeah. And so when we do, like, I try to use different things, right, and show off different elements. And so I knew you were using that paper, and I tried to choose different paper. I'm sorry. I want to just bring this in a little bit more, the vellum doily, because I want my pink paper to hang over the edge. And not, it was kind of like this, and I wanted it to have more of a difference there. So I just picked that up to move it a little bit. And so this, the petal pink, it was 5.5 inches, and I tore the edges. So it doesn't quite go all the way around the card. And I guess I should have checked my label first, but I can still tuck it underneath there. Oh my gosh, I'm just loving this so much. Do you ever do, like, when you make a card, does it ever just, sometimes I just feel so much joy as it's coming together, and I'm just like,
oh, yeah.
I can't hold it in. Like, I love it. I love these colors. So I was thinking earlier when I was like, sometimes I think about what am I going to say or talk about. And so I wanted to point out, like, when I was working on this project, the paper that I picked out is monochromatic, right? It's just Pool Party. But I still wanted to include and build like other colors into my card. So a lot of times when I'm trying to decide on the colors to use, I will look at the designer paper. And even if I'm using a pattern that only has a single color in it, I will still be inspired by the color combination and pull colors, to help me decide what to use as far as the color story on my card. So that was definitely the case here. And I know the color on the paper is Granny Apple Green, but I used Pear Pizzazz because I think it's light enough that it still goes well with the Pool Party and the Petal Pink without overwhelming it. And it still kind of matches the paper a little bit. So on this one with the banner, I've got some regular adhesive on one side and a Stampin' Dimensional on the other, because it is going to hang over a little bit from the label. So I don't want to put another dimensional on this end and have it be like doubled up there, but now it has a dimensional where it needs to match up to the label. So here's the stepped up version.
Beautiful.
And the clean and simple version. And I love them both, but I do feel here that I like this stepped up version better. So I would love to know what you think, Mom. Which one's your favorite?
Well, I like the one on the right, and I would add some bling to those flowers.
I did it at the beginning.
Did? Oh, I was muted for a while, so that's very pretty.
I used the polished stone gems.
Nice.
And they are kind of clear, so I know it's hard to see on camera. Maybe you can see it there with the angle.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Yeah, I blinged that up. I really channeled Mom. And I thought, what would Mom do?
And bling.
That's right. Okay, I have a couple cards to show you. Some additional swaps and cards that I received, other than the ones that you already shared. This one comes from Amy, my sister, your daughter, and she used some bling there too. I think those are the elegant faceted gems. I love how she has stamped the image on the pattern paper. I think that's just a really fun way to build with the different patterns from this paper. And then we've got this card, which is one that I shared in a recent video. So again, like, this is clean and simple. Like, this is totally, my style. I chose not to really dress this one up a whole lot. I stamped in black and fresh freesia, and then just used a sponge dauber to add a little bit of color to the center of those flowers. For this one, even though the stamping is clean and simple, it does have that fun fold. So a little corner of designer paper. This is I think it's 2 1/4 or 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches cut diagonally, so that there is a little corner to tuck that into. The card size is a regular, it's like 4 1/4 by 11 inches. This piece is the other half of the front. So I cut half the front off and then turned it and layered it. So really, really simple and clean and easy on this card. And then the last one is by Carol Nordquist, and she incorporated some embossing folder in there. I love that with the and this is almost the same kind of layout, minus the corner pocket there. And then on the inside, hope you have the best birthday.
Nice.
So beautiful. Okay, I'm super excited about your card. So I'm going to flip the camera over so you can share with us what you've got.
Okay, so I have a mess right here. So let's just start, and I'll start pulling some things off. So our card base is Granny Apple Green, and it's just our standard card. So I'm going to just tuck that over here for now. And then the rest of the front is the designer series paper is 5 by 3 3/4, and that'll be matted on a 5 1/4 by 4. And we'll put all the dimensions in the description. And then our inside piece is kind of the same thing, 5 by 3 3/4 and 5 1/4 by 4. But I'm just going to kind of layer that for the inside, just to give a little extra interest on the inside. So again, I'm going to put that aside. The rest of the front of our card has a strip of basic white, 4 1/4 by 1 1/2, and I scored it at 1/4 inch, because we're going to tuck that around and fold that. And then another strip of 4 inches by 1 inch. All right, so let's start with this. I'm going to put this over here for now. We're going to do some heat embossing. So on this designer series paper, it really depends on where I'm going to place things based on the designs on the designer series paper. So we have a lot of it on this one with some in the corner, and here it's just a little bit with some in the corner. So I think I'm going to use this piece, and we're going to do some heat embossing on that. So I always have my little embossing buddy, and I know we don't sell them anymore, but got to use it when you're embossing, right? All right.
Yes, that is fact.
So here is my almost nice and clean, my video Versamark. Thank you, Lindsay Mann. She's a demonstrator from Canada, and I was watching one of her videos. So these aren't going to fit quite perfectly on here, but you can kind of almost, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. You can kind of almost get there. I almost don't care, to be perfectly honest with you, where it fits. And then I'm
I
going
don't think it's supposed to line up perfectly, but I didn't even realize that you could stamp on the paper until we were talking earlier this week.
Yeah. Isn't that fun? So I'm going to then stick this guy over here in the corner. All right. And I think I'm also going to grab one of these little leaves. And I'm just going to go ahead and just stick one here. And then maybe another one over here. All right. Now I'm going to bring in my coffee filter from the dollar store. And some of our embossing powder, and it comes in a pack of 3. And it's the, I want to say it's the neutrals embossing powders. So
yes, I think the other one's called metallics.
I do believe you're right. So I'm just going to kind of dump a bunch on here. Here we go.
Ooh.
Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to set that aside, because I'm also, as long as I'm going to have the heat gun out, I'm going to go ahead and emboss. I love the embossing. It adds texture. Julie talked about texture a little while ago. And that it does. It adds texture. So I love it. I do it a lot. All right. So I'm going to do my Hello Friend in black embossing powder as well. I don't know if I might, yeah, I guess I'm in camera. Okay. You'd tell me if I wasn't. All right. Now I'm going to cover this because, yeah, you don't want to keep that open. I will fly all over the place. All right.
Is that a don't ask me how I know situation?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. I ended up having to buy some extra Versamarks.
There's a reason you have a video Versamark pad.
That is absolutely true. Without a doubt. All right, I think I'm done with this. Oh, I better be careful here.
I was just thinking, like, oh, did that like interfere with the embossing powder?
No, it did not.
Okay.
All right, so let's get this one out of the way. So I know some people are not a fan of heat embossing because they just don't want to get out the inks and the powders and make a mess. But I just love it. It really like sharpens that black on here.
Yeah.
Really makes it pop.
I don't do a lot of heat embossing because it is messy, but it does look so much sharper and nicer. So you could do this same thing by just stamping in black on the designer paper, but it's just not as dark and opaque because the black ink actually just soaks into the designer paper a little bit. So it's not, like, as you said, like crisp and opaque.
Now, somebody had mentioned that if you don't want to emboss and you just want to use ink, you can, but you probably want to get out your stamp apparatus because you can keep stamping over the same spot. You'll line it up
Oh,
and stamp it 2, 3, 4 times, and you might get a brighter black. I think
that's a good idea.
I've not tried it, but I imagine it would work. Oh, all right, you're not going to stay in there today. All right. So while I have everything out, my inks out and everything, I'm going to bring out this little 4-inch by 1-inch strip, and I'm going to stamp in Granny Apple Green.
You got so much going on this card. I can't wait to see it come together.
Yeah. Well, like you, I was getting more and more excited as I was working on this card. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to also stamp the Hope You Have the Best Birthday on here. Ooh, I think I need to re-ink this, but you get the idea. All right. And as long as I have this out, I'm going to grab our inside basic white piece, and I'm going to put another little fern in the corner. All right. And I think we're done with all the inks now. So I'm going to put those away. Get my stamps out of here so we can do some assembly. We bring in our basic black. Look, Julie, I'm using seal. All right. She's not impressed. Usually I use multi-purpose liquid glue because that is my favorite.
I'm sorry. I briefly I muted myself, and because I'm using the microphone on my phone today, I couldn't unmute myself on the computer. Like I had to pull the phone off the stand.
Oh no. Oops. All right, babe. All right, so there's the inside of our card. And what we're going to do is we're going to, I think what I want to do before we glue this piece on the black, I want to put a little snail here. And what I'm going to decide now is where I want this, because again, depending on where your flowers are and which way you want to orient this, you could have that in the upper right corner, or you could have that one down below. So Julie, what do you think? Where do you think I should?
Ooh, I like it toward the top or the bottom. So if you do it that way, I would move the hello front up a little farther. Yeah. Or the other direction with it towards the bottom.
Yeah, see, that covers up too much of that.
I know, like if you flip the paper,
like so.
Yeah, either that way or the other way, but I like it toward the bottom or the top half. And
okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I just didn't know whether I wanted these flowers up here or down there. So what do you think?
I think I like it better the other way with the bigger flowers on the bottom. So now scoop that up a little. Yeah, right there. Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna, I want this over here because I am going to do a little bit. Okay. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and make a little banner. I should have brought my one punch over, but I keep forgetting that. Julie, you've shown that a couple of times and I love it.
Oh, the tailored tag punch. But what you're doing here is a fun tip too. So when you're doing a banner tip, cut up the middle and then cut from the corner to the top of that middle. That's like an easy way to get an even banner on each side.
Although I didn't do such a hot job, so it's not quite even, but that's all right. All right,
it
so
looks high-end.
I'm going to add some seal and put this on our unstick my fingers and go ahead and put this on our black mat. I love green and black and white. I just really, really do.
Yes. Well, we saw that on some of these other cards, like the freesia in black and white and the pool party in black and white. I think it's so pretty, you know, to have that pop of color. Yeah. And that sort of is already done on some of these papers that have the black and white and color. You just added the black to this one to sort of mimic some of those other patterns.
Exactly. So now we're going
Oh my gosh, I love this so much.
and then this little guy is going to go in here. Oh, it's a little bit too big. So I'm going to just do a little trimming here. So I want to kind of hide this. So I want this to be hidden under this.
So cute. What a fun little extra flap.
Yeah, just for some fun. Hope that's straight. I think that's straight. Oh, could have been better. All right, and then because I have to add more, and but wait, it's more. And I debated about whether using the white dots or the black dots, and I decided to use the black dots. These are in the mini catalog. They're classic matte dots, and so you've got some basic white and vanilla, and basic gray and black. So you've got 4 shades of these matte dots. Now we do have black matte dots in the annual catalog. So if you don't have this and you have black matte dots, you can still get the same look. So I
think these are a little smaller. Is that right? Would you say the classic matte dots?
I think so. I think so. So I'm going to put one down here. One come back here. I know I don't have my take your pick tool out. I'm just so used to using come back here. All right, I'm gonna stick this guy up here.
Perfect.
Got a little extra there. All right, so here's my project.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And just hope you have the best birthday.
That's so much fun with the extra flap. I love it. And the embossing on the designer paper. Oh, gorgeous.
Thank you. I like it. I liked how it came out. I was real happy with it. All right. So that is my project.
All right. Let's flip the cameras back over. Oh my goodness. You're right, Mom. They do look so different. Yeah. Even though it's all with the same bundle and the same designer paper. It is remarkable how versatile this bundle is. And you can get it for free with $100 order during Sale-a-Bration. That's $100 before tax and shipping. So you can pick out all your extra things like the Stampin' Blend, stock up on those, the vellum doilies, some cardstock, the twine, the heat tool, the embossing powder. Like you can get all the things that we use to make these cards and then earn your bundle for free.
I mean, who doesn't like free? I love giving away free stuff. I mean, I'm not paying for it. Stampin' Up is, but I can still give it away.
That's right. It's the best time of year to shop with Stampin' Up right now. And I love that they're tying Sale-a-Bration in with new catalog releases. So there's brand new stuff from the January through June mini catalog to get, and then you get bonus stuff on top of that.
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Such a great time to be a stamper.
It is. Hey, Julie, what's your favorite Sale-a-Bration item this year?
Oh my gosh.
You know,
it's so hard to choose a favorite because we have so many amazing designer papers. Like, I feel like there's 2 categories, right? The designer paper and then the stamp set. I love that this one has both of them in it, but my favorite stamp set is the special moments, the $100 stamp set level 2 that you can get, because there are just so many sentiments in it. And I think it works for so many different occasions. And I'm already just finding that I pull it out for everything and I'm just using it all the time. So I think that's my favorite stamp set. And I think my favorite designer paper is probably the rainbow and sunshine paper. I just love how bright and fun that is. And it's really versatile and not just for rainbows, I think. How about you? What's your favorites?
Well, my favorite stamp set, like you, is the special moment. And, because you're right. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I like the fonts in there, and there's just some nice sayings, that are kind of different. So I like that. But my favorite paper is the Daffodil Afternoon Delight.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not Delight. I added the Delight. It's Daffodil Afternoon. It's 12 by 12 paper. It's daffodils. It's got daisies, which of course is my favorite flower. And Yeah, you just can't go wrong, right? So
It is.
that's my
It is.
favorite. It is. I've used a lot of mine already. I think I'm already like halfway through my second pack.
Time. I was going to say time for a refill.
Oh, there's one in the wings waiting.
Oh, very good. Well, we'll leave a comment at home and let us know what your favorite Sale-a-Bration product is. Is there something else that you would like to see us feature in an upcoming Sunday stamping video, or perhaps a product from the January through June catalog that you would like to see? We'd love to hear from you. So please leave a comment and let us know.
Yes, we would love to hear from you. And we would love to then be able to pick or use what you have shared so that we can show you some fun stuff using what you want.
Yes, I'm excited about some of the plans that we already have to share some upcoming products. And so,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's going to be fun. Well,
Yes.
I think for now, let's wrap it up. And I hope that you have a great week, Mom, coming up. And
You
I
as
look
well.
forward to stamping again next Sunday.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Happy stamping.
Thanks for watching.